All right, welcome everybody. This is the iBUG Buzz, episode 547 for August 15. I'm Greg. I'll be co-hosting tonight with Sandhya. For any of you that are new to the iBUG Buzz, this is an open forum discussion where we encourage you to ask questions, bring up issues related to the accessibility features on your iOS devices. That would be the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Apple TV, Apple Watch. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Sandhya for announcements and a preview of iBUG events that are coming up this week.
All right, thank you, Greg. Yes, we have a busy week. All right, let's see something each day. All right, so all time central, all things on Zoom unless specified otherwise. So for the next 2 hours, we are here on iBUG Buzz. Then tomorrow on Clubhouse from 5 to 6 is the Mac Buzz. Come with all questions relating to your Mac. Then Wednesdays, iBUG Android Insights, 7 to 8:30, come with all questions relating to the Android platform, Google things, and the A-Lady. Yes, all kinds of questions. That's a broad spectrum of devices that you could potentially talk about there. Then we have Thursday, iBUG Trekkie Talk from 8 to 9:30, talking about Next Generation, Season 5, Episodes 2 and 3. Watch them ahead of time and then come and join your fellow iBUG Trekkies for a discussion and lots of trivia. So that's always lots of fun. Then Friday is iBUG Night at the virtual movies, and for the big reveal, we'll come back at the top of the hour with those clues and those crazy clues and even crazier prizes. And then on Saturday, we have iBUG Apple Workshop. It has moved just for this month, and we will be talking about, we normally do Apple News, and then we'll do some demos. So please come for that from 2 to 4. Then as far as our social media goes, our website is ibugtoday.org, ibugtoday.org is the website. Twitter is at ibugtoday. Facebook is facebook.com/group/ibugtoday.org. All of these places are where you can get information and share information. Primarily on the Facebook, you can post your questions, then help other people with their questions. You can always send us an email at ibugtoday@gmail.com if necessary. Then we have a mentoring program for anybody needing help with their new iPhone. You can fill out the application under the training tab for the mentee. And if you are an experienced person and want to help somebody else, you could be a mentor. And we are always looking for people who would like to demonstrate their favorite app or maybe talk about a device that they would like to share in the iToys segment. Send us an email at ibugtoday@gmail.com. And, we want to include things that you think would be interesting for our callers and for us, right? So we're here to help each other and enrich our community. So just let us know and we will work with you and get all that going. Okay, Greg, it's back to you. That's
all right.
week.
Thank you, Sandhya. So this would be the time that we go around the room and introduce ourselves. So I would ask that you'll need to unmute, state your name, tell us where you're from. If you're new to the iBUG Buzz or new to your Apple device, please share that with us. So let me get it started. I'm Greg from Texas, and I have an Apple Watch that's about a week and a half old.
My name is Jake. I'm from Michigan, and I just have an iPhone, and I've been an iOS user since the iPhone 4S, so that's a long time.
This is Herbie in Houston, Texas. I have a watch that is about 2 years old, and I've been using the iPhone since the iPhone 4 back in 2010. So.
And I'm from Colorado. I have an iPhone. I have a Mac. I've been using my iPhone since the iPhone 4.
All right. Welcome. Chanel, go ahead.
Chanel in Houston, using Apple devices since 2010.
Right.
Mark in Montreal, and I have an iPhone 11 currently. I've had an iPhone since the 4, and I've also had a Mac, but back to Windows 11 now. And that's me.
Earl Zwicker in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Currently have an iPhone 12 Pro, an iPad Pro, and an Apple Watch, and I've been using Apple products since 2009.
Yeah, let me break in. Let's just to save time and get on with the introductions. Let's just if there's any new hardware that you have, let's just limit it to that. But go ahead. Who's next?
Pete Lane in Jacksonville, Florida. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hey, Pete.
This is Brad. I'm in North Texas.
Hi, Brad.
This is Marie in Reno.
Hey, Marie.
This is Gary in Austin.
Hey, Gary.
This is
Bridget
Darcy
Dodge
in
Atlanta.
Hi, Bridget.
This is Darcy in Ontario, Canada, currently in Tennessee.
Hey,
Angelo
Darcy.
in Ottawa.
Hi, Angelo.
Dan, Southern California.
I'm sorry, who was that?
This is Dan. Southern
Oh,
California.
Dan. Hey, welcome.
This is Helene in Woodstock, New York.
Hi, Helene.
Jody in New Hampshire.
Hey, Jody.
Thomas in Colorado.
Hey, Thomas.
Sandhya in Houston.
A ladybug. Who else have we got?
It's Julie from Ventura, California, and I have Apple.
All right, welcome. Anybody else? Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can answer some questions. Who has the first question? And we encourage anybody that's new. I didn't hear anybody that said they were new on the buzz, but if there is anybody new, we encourage you to go ahead and ask your questions early on. Okay, anybody?
Janet from Colorado.
Yeah, go ahead, Janet.
I read yesterday that the Uber app is switching to a new rewards program. So if you have any rewards, you might want to go ahead and redeem them. And if anybody needs any help, just let me know and I can try to help you do that. And I have an Apple Watch question.
Yeah, thanks for that, letting us know about that. But yeah, go ahead with your Apple Watch question.
My Apple Watch question is, if you are only using how can you still use your Apple Watch Wi-Fi when it's when you're out and about without being on Wi-Fi? Or do you have to have it always on Wi-Fi?
Okay, do we have somebody wants to respond to that?
Darcy.
Yeah, go ahead, Darcy.
Okay, well, depending on which one you have, if you have the Wi-Fi only one, it can actually still do a lot of what it does if you have your phone with you, because when it's not on Wi-Fi itself, it connects to your phone, so you'll get things like various notifications and stuff like that if your phone's connected. Now, obviously, if you don't have a phone with you and you just have the Wi-Fi version and there's no Wi-Fi, then there's less it can do. Although it's not completely useless. It still has the you can still do some of the fitness stuff. If you have music loaded on it, you can listen to music. So it's not completely useless, but as long as you have your phone with you, it can use its data connection.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, so if you if you just have your watch, leave your phone at home, and you have the Wi-Fi version on the watch, you're not going to be able to connect to Wi-Fi, correct?
I don't.
This is Herbie.
So.
Yeah, Herbie, go ahead.
I've never tested this theory, but you could see what happens. Like I guess you could take your phone with you, turn it off, but I wonder if the watch might connect to a Wi-Fi network that you've connected to on your phone. Like I think it might be stored in the watch data. So for instance, if let's say you go over to your friend's house and you've connected to their Wi-Fi previously, then it is possible your watch would remember that Wi-Fi network. So in
Okay.
theory, it probably could. It wouldn't be able to connect to a new Wi-Fi network, but it might be able to connect to ones that you've previously connected to.
Okay. One of the things I'm really enjoying with the watch is if I leave my phone at home, then the watch will, as soon as I get, a few hundred yards away from the house, then the watch will prompt me that the iPhone was left behind. So that's a nice reminder to get. Okay, let's move on. Any other questions? Let's get another one. Any questions? Any app issues?
Gary,
This is
Gary, yeah, Gary, go ahead.
just a quick one. How do I get my email sound without having mail notifications, read? I just want the sound. I don't need to know what the messages are. And just curious what I need to change.
You just want a sound, but you don't want
Yeah, I
voiceover
don't need
reading
that.
the message.
I don't need it doing that.
That can be kind of embarrassing. So who wants
This is
to
Brad.
respond to that?
This is Brad.
Yeah, Brad, go ahead.
So you want your mail just to make a sound.
Yeah, right.
I believe you can open notifications go to
Okay.
your settings, go to notifications, and go to mail, and you
Yeah.
should be able to adjust what notifications, how notifications from mail are delivered. There you go. That was tough to say. And you should be able to go in there and turn off, banners, but whatever, everything except the sound. And
Okay.
it should just make the sound.
Okay.
I believe
I'll do
it'll just
that.
make it once whenever a new mail comes in.
Yeah, that's all I needed. I don't
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
that's
that-
it. It's been
Okay,
a
I'll
long
go there.
time since I've done mine. So.
Yeah. I didn't have it for a while, then I got it back. I think you're the one actually told me how to get it back a few months ago.
Maybe.
And then just was thinking about, I want to get rid of those notifications. Yeah, I will go in there and do that. Thanks.
Now if you still want the notifications to show up on the screen, but you don't want voiceover chattering every notification so that the whole world hears it, that's a setting in voiceover.
Right. Yeah.
To
No, I just- I
voiceover
don't-
to not read those. Yeah.
Yeah,
I learned
I just
about
don't
that
want-
too. An
yeah.
embarrassing situation once upon a time. So
And we've all had
Take care of
embarrassing
that.
situations. But
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there you've got both the notification where you make sure the sound's turned on, and then you can also go into voiceover like Brad's saying and make sure that it's
Yeah.
you've got your setting where it doesn't read the thing out loud in front of other people.
Yeah.
All right. So good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Let's get another question.
This is Dee.
Hey D, go ahead.
Yeah. What is the latest model of watch? Is it the 7?
I can respond to that real quickly. Yes, it is. The
Okay.
8's coming out in September.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Which model did they start making the thing thinner? Was that the
Anybody-
6 or 7?
Anybody know?
this is Brad. What was the question?
When did they start making the watch thinner?
I've had every watch since the very first one. I've had a series 0, a 3, a 5, and now a 7. They're not any different. They're not any thinner. All they've done is increase the screen size by making the bezels smaller. But I've had this, what used to be the 38 and then the 40 and now the 41. The overall size of the watch and thickness of the watch seem to be unchanged as far as I can tell. I could be wrong. I haven't gotten a micrometer out and measured it, but every one of them feels identical.
I thought they started making it thinner last year or something.
Not that I'm aware of.
Huh. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, D.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. Who's next? We need
Bridget.
a,
This is Brooke.
look, Bridget, go ahead.
Okay, can I ask a question about the Pandora app?
Is it iPhone related or?
Yes, it's on my iPhone.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, someone helped me download it, put my email in for the free Pandora. So we put in my email and a password, so it works. But when you ask for artists, it give you that artist, but it don't give you the correct song that you stated.
Okay. Has anybody had experience with Pandora?
This is Dee.
Yeah, go ahead, Dee.
My best guess is most of these music station things like that, if you want full service and you want to be able to ask for specific songs and things, you have to sign up and pay a fee each month. You get the cut down version whenever you get the free version. And it does not allow you to do everything like that.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Another question?
We need to go back to Brooks.
This is Brooks.
Yeah, Brooke, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have an iPhone, and for over a month now, it'll text, but it won't text the iText, whatever the iMessage, and it doesn't send or receive calls. And so it's pretty annoying that I have to use other means for a phone. And I wasn't sure if it was an iPhone problem that people know what the problem is. Otherwise, I'll have to go to the techie store.
This is Brad.
Yeah, Brad, go ahead.
You want to go into your settings and go to messaging. And number one, you want to make sure iMessage is turned on. It should be towards the top of the list. Make sure that's turned on. I don't know if it was turned on before, why it would be turned off now, but I check that. Then what was the other thing? A receipt? What do you mean by a receipt?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't do phone calls, so I can't call out, and nobody can call me. So it doesn't work as a phone. So I've just been using it as a magnifier and take a picture and then zoom the picture to figure out what I'm looking at.
Okay.
But it doesn't do telephone.
Forgive me, but I have to ask, you do have a cellular plan enabled, correct?
Are you signed up with AT&T or Verizon?
Anybody, do you have a cellular service?
Yes, AT&T.
Okay, well then make sure that airplane mode is not turned on, because that would turn off your cellular radio.
It's funny you say that, because I had turned it off 2 days before this problem arose. And so I've been racking my brain. Did I actually try to call anyone during those 2 days? I don't know.
All right.
Well, I would open your control center, put your finger on the status bar at the top, and then take 3 fingers and swipe up. And the very first item in the control center in the top right corner should be airplane mode. It should say airplane mode on, airplane mode off, and you want airplane mode to be off.
Okay, and
let me
airplane
on. You
mode
can't
is
make
off
calls and you can't
currently.
receive calls.
This is Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie, go ahead.
Couple things. First of all, if you're not receiving, you said you're able to get. Did you say you were able to get regular text messages on that phone?
Yes, and so if I try to text someone who has an iPhone, it sends it as an iMessage, and then it says, message failed. Would you like to send it as a regular text message? And then it goes through.
And they actually do receive the message?
It's not airplane mode then.
Yes, and we carry on a conversation.
Yeah,
I would be worried.
Brad, that's exactly where I was going. Brad said it for me. It's not airplane mode. Chanel actually had an issue with one of her phones a while back where it just suddenly stopped seeing the SIM card altogether. So we took it to the Apple store and they had to replace it because, we tried everything that... We probably even tried running through things the text didn't even think about. So, but that is always a possibility. Is that, I would check to make sure your cell data is actually on. I'm thinking it is since text messaging is working. Make sure you've paid your bill. I know that doesn't sound good, but that could be a factor. Just saying. But that's odd that it can send and receive text. The other thing you could check is see if your Wi-Fi calling is on or off, and if it's off, try turning it on and see if that makes a difference. But that shouldn't be, because that's odd that it's still sending us. You're able to send text messages, but the iMessages thing. But you may have to. The other thing I guess you could try is a complete resetting of the phone, and like maybe actually not a complete reset. The thing to try maybe is reset network settings, and that is in general and settings in general, and then it's towards the bottom there. Now I'm drawing a blank, but it's where you would go to reset things, and one of the options is reset network settings, and you will lose your Wi-Fi, so you will have to reactivate that once you come back into the phone. But that might be something to try, see if that fixes that particular issue.
Yeah.
This is Sri.
Yeah, Sri, go ahead.
Have you I'm going to assume that the cell service worked before, correct?
It used to work
Yeah.
up until
Okay.
I took that trip.
Okay. What I would do first thing is do a forced reboot. That sometimes fixes some of the cell issues by doing. What kind of phone do you have?
It's an iPhone from 2018. I don't know
you know the-
what letter or number.
Okay. Well, you could try doing a forced reboot by doing a volume up and volume down and holding the side button, and keep holding it till about 17 or 18 seconds, and then let it go. I would do that first. If then it still doesn't work, then you could do the network reset, like Herbie was saying. I wasn't sure if the network does the reset of the Wi-Fi or the system settings.
This is Brad.
Yeah. Sri, are you through?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
Brad, go
wondering,
ahead.
you said you went on a trip. Where'd you go on your trip? Outside the United States?
No, I think Florida is still part of the United States right now.
Okay. My son
Pause
once
for
went
laughter.
to Spain.
Okay.
And he
All
bought
right.
a SIM card over there, and that messed his phone up. He had to end up taking it to T-Mobile, and they worked their magic to make it work again.
Yeah, guys, let me jump in here. Please ask to be recognized before you, because carrying on these conversations, it's kind of hard for the host to control what's going on.
This is Pete.
Yeah, Pete, go ahead.
Just wondering where you got your phone. Was it at AT&T? And if so, I'd go right back up there and tell them to fix it.
Any other thoughts?
Okay.
This is Jody.
Yeah, Jody, go ahead.
Yeah, it does sound like it might be a SIM card issue. I had that problem a couple of phones ago and took it to AT&T and they just gave me the SIM card.
And this is Herbie, real quick.
Yeah, Herbie, go ahead.
To answer the question about the network resetting, network settings and the reset, I think it does do something, because I was having an issue where I could not make and receive certain cell phone calls like outside of T-Mobile ones. So they suggested I do a network reset, and that did solve the problem. So it does do something with the cell network. Now, granted, my card is an eSIM, but so that could be a factor. But it did do something to reset the cell connection for sure. So it is definitely worth trying.
Okay, so Brooke, you got a bunch of suggestions there to work with. Hope that helps.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's go ahead with
I'll
another
try all those
question.
things.
Who's got the next question? Anybody? Okay, I'll ask a question. So if I'm on my phone and I go into the messages app, I'm not hearing any unread messages. When I check messages on my phone, I'm sorry, on my watch, it'll say 4 unread messages. Do I have to open all those messages on my watch to get that to zero out? Anybody?
This is Terry.
Terry, go ahead.
The short answer is yes, but, and my professor always said, ignore everything before the but. There is a way, and I don't know offhand what it is, but there is a way to, on both your phone and your watch, to go into settings and turn that off so that it won't tell you that you have unread messages.
This is Darcy.
This is Brad.
Darcy and then Brad. Go ahead.
Okay. My first question is to you, Eric. Do you have iMessage is in the cloud? Do you have that turned on all your devices?
I think so. I'd have
Okay,
to check,
because
but
that
I'm pretty sure.
should, if everything's working correctly, that should sync the unread status on all your devices. So, like, once you read a message in one place, it will be marked as read everywhere. If everything is working. So you're saying that all your messages, like you'll read your messages on your phone, but they're still being flagged as unread on the watch?
Correct.
Huh. That's because sometimes, pre iCloud messages that used to happen, but I don't know that I've seen that happen since that became a feature. But maybe somebody else has something.
So you're thinking I'd need to make sure iMessages is turned on on the phone, but also on the watch app.
Yeah, the cloud, it should be turned on everywhere because then
Okay.
it syncs. And that's actually, there's a lot of use not only for read status, but things like, well, if you pin messages, and that sort of thing, and if you delete conversations, then they'll delete everywhere. That sort of thing. So it's a
Okay.
useful thing to have on.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Any other thoughts on that or?
This is Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Well, Darcy brought up a good point I hadn't even thought of, but I was going to say, as far as your original question about do you have to open each one thing you can do is on your watch face, flick either up or down when you hear it say notifications, double tap,
Okay.
and it will, you'll be able then to swipe through any of your notifications, and it will tell you each individual unread message, or in the upper left corner, there's also a button that'll say clear all, and you can just clear all those notifications at once.
All right. Good. All right.
This is Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
I have mine synced supposedly, but my watch still isn't deleting message and showing messages having been read, even though I delete them from my watch and read them on my phone and delete them from my phone. So, and I have that turned on.
Okay. Maybe it's a bug. Any other thoughts? Okay.
Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
I got a similar situation to Terry in that mine will show as read when I've read them on either device, phone or watch. What I would like is if I delete them from my one device, they'd be deleted from the other device. I can go through and clear a bunch of old stuff off my phone, but every message I've ever still exists on the watch, and I have to take the time to go through and clear each conversation just to clean up this, legacy of stuff on the watch. I would love delete one in one device and it's deleted from all devices, like mail. Like mail and IMAP. That's how I want it to work. Wish it did.
Did I hear Darcy? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's so weird because it's supposed to work that way. Like when I delete messages on one device, it deletes on my watch, my Mac, my iPad, like everywhere. And that's just weird. That I wonder why. I wonder if it's now. Sometimes some of the weird peculiarities of iCloud, and sometimes Apple even tells you to do this kind of thing. Is like sign out of iMessage in the cloud on every device and then sign back in and let it resync. You shouldn't have to do that, but sometimes maybe it's just something's gotten corrupted somewhere. But yeah, that's how it should work. You shouldn't have to delete conversations on more than one device.
This is Sri.
Yeah, go ahead, Sri.
Brad, just keep in mind you got that from iBUG, so just be aware of that.
Okay.
What?
Josh is
Follow. Oh, okay. Didn't quite follow that. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to another question. How about somebody else?
This is Sri.
Yes, Sri. Go.
So I wanted to say something that I heard about with iOS 16 that I'm really excited about because I'm a culprit of this. Is I do a lot of accidental screenshots, and supposedly on iOS 16 now you have the ability to delete a screenshot and it will save it to clipboard if you want to use it versus saving it to the photo library.
Okay.
This is Darcy.
Yeah, Darcy.
What I actually did, and I can share this with anyone who wants it. I'm forever doing that because you hit the buttons on either side and it makes a screenshot, and I rarely if ever want screenshots. So I made a shortcut, and I can just say, I won't say her name, but I'll say like, hey S lady, delete screenshots, and it just deletes all the screenshots it's taken. So it's a really quick way to clean those up.
This is Sri.
Yes, Sri. Go ahead.
So now you also have the ability for it to be in the clipboard in case you want to use it to paste it somewhere else. So
Right.
I thought that was
cool.
kind of good. Yeah.
Because you might the only I'm sorry, this is Darcy.
Yeah, go ahead, Darcy.
The real application I can see for screenshots is tech support thing. So that is actually really cool. I hadn't heard that before.
Are the screenshots saved in the photo library or in the files app, or where are they saved?
This is Darcy.
Yeah, Darcy.
As of right now, yeah, when you take a screenshot, it goes into your photo library. I think there is even a section in there in photos for screenshots. So if you accidentally hit that combination of buttons a lot, you can build up a lot of them in there.
Right. All right. Thank you. Anybody have another question?
This is Thomas in Colorado. I just have a follow up on the screenshot thing.
Sure. Go ahead.
I actually use screenshots whenever I get an Uber or a Lyft and it comes up with the driver and the license plate. I do make a screenshot of those every time so that if there's ever an issue, I can go back and register it against that particular driver. But that's the only time I ever use screenshot. Thomas is done speaking.
That's a good idea. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Another question.
This is Jody.
Jody, go ahead.
Yeah, Thomas, I love that idea, especially if you have a guide dog. My question to Darcy is, how do you do a custom shortcut like?
This is Darcy.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, it's a little tricky the first time through. There is the Shortcuts app that you go in, and you actually can go in and you can get a lot of pre-built shortcuts, but you can make ones your own. And a shortcut is basically a series of what they call actions, and they're almost I like to think of them as sort of like Lego blocks that stick together, and like one action, follows the next action, and so on. And when you make an action, or a shortcut rather, the name of it can be the phrase that Siri uses. So I just called it delete screenshots. And I think it only has like 2 actions, like something like, find all screenshots in the photo library and then delete all the things that it found. So it's just 2 quick little actions. But one thing you can do is you can share shortcuts. So like that is certainly something I could send to people if they wanted it. But it's super easy to make that particular one.
I made a couple, but I didn't realize you could get that specific about them. Thank you.
Sandhya, is that something that could be posted on the iBUG website? If anybody wanted to submit a shortcut they're using?
I guess you could send us an email and we can figure it out. I don't know. I guess so.
This is Sri.
Go ahead, Sri.
Darcy, can you post that on the YouTube? I'm not the YouTube, the Facebook page.
I'm not on Facebook, but I can send you it. I have your email. I can send it to you if you want. And then
That'd be great.
Because when you share a shortcut. But anybody can share a shortcut. It does give you a link, and then you can send that link wherever you want, and then people can use it. I think the first time, it's been a while since I've done it, but I think the first time you get a shortcut from somewhere else, like from a link, you have to, there's like a permission thing. You have to say that, like, this shortcut's coming from somewhere else, that kind of thing. But once you do that, I think there's no problem with adding things to your shortcuts. But yeah, I will send you that shortcut, the delete screenshots thing.
This is Sri.
Yeah, go ahead, Sri.
One of the things I just want to say to everyone, shortcuts, don't be intimidated by the word shortcut. I mean, there's some very basic stuff that we can create. So if you're interested, just go and just create a very simple one, just to do one action and just play around with it, because you're not going to break it. You'll educate yourself. So definitely, I would say, try it out.
Right.
Let me
ask real quick. I know at one point there was a shortcuts app. Do you do it through that shortcuts app, or is it something that's in settings and shortcuts?
This is Darcy.
Yeah, go ahead, Darcy.
There are some things you can do in settings under Siri where you like some pre-built ones, but for the most part, yeah, you do everything in the shortcuts app. And actually, one of the things I do want to do, and I want to wait until iOS 16 comes out, because I suspect that things are going to change in shortcuts between now and then. But I actually do want to make like a demo or a series of demos on them, and whether I do it on accessibility or for you guys or whatever. But that's something I've actually really wanted to do for a while, because I think shortcuts is a really powerful feature, but it's kind of intimidating at first. And once you start using it, you can do some really powerful things.
All right, good. And we had somebody else tried to
Pete.
say something. Pete? Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that, excuse me, you can ask Siri to take a screenshot and share it with somebody via email or text or something like that. You can just ask Siri to take care of all of that for you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on shortcuts? All right, let's go ahead and move on. How about another question? The night is young, and I'm not. Okay. Anybody?
This is Chris.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
So this is a question regarding when you go to the App Store and you want to download an app, how do you determine, or how do you make it so you know which home screen it's going to go to? Because I have about 8 home screens full of apps, and I thought I would kind of be smart and go to my 8th home screen, which only has about 3 apps on it, and that's the only one that has less than 24 on my home screens, and go to the App Store and then download. I was trying to download the Hotel Tonight app that Mo had done a demo on for Apple Workshop. But then when it downloaded it, it put it on, I think, my 3rd or 4th home screen, and it bumped some other apps around. So how do you fix that?
This is Sri.
Yeah, Sri, go ahead.
So basically, every home screen, if you're just using standard apps, it takes 24 apps. So typically when you download, it will always default to the second home screen. If your second home screen has 23 apps, it'll put it there on the second home screen. If your second page has 24 apps, it'll go to the third page, as long as the third home screen doesn't have 24 apps. So that's how it follows the sequence. So do you know if your second and third and fourth page all have 24 apps?
This is Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so it'll go to the next following home screen that has.
But it didn't. I'm sorry. This is Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's my point. It did not. It went all the way. I went to my 8th home screen to make it go there, which only has 3 apps, and all the rest are full up with 24.
Yep.
But it plopped it on my 3rd home screen, which already had 24.
I'm curious, where would it have put it if the screen was full?
Bottom right.
Then the screen must not have been full.
It was. This is Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was full.
Okay.
So this is Sri.
Yeah, Sri.
So Chris, is that a re-download of an app?
No.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting, because this is Sri.
Yeah,
The
go ahead.
reason I say that is I had this problem with the prior version. Are you running the latest version?
This is Chris.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Of iOS.
Yes.
I think it's 15.4 or 5. So I don't know.
Yes, it was a problem because it did that for me before.
Okay,
And they
so
fixed it.
yeah, so it sounds like upgrading to 15.6 might solve your problem.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you guys for being good about stating your name and waiting to be recognized. All right, who's got the next question?
This is Jody.
Jody.
Yeah, there's been an ongoing glitch with recents under phone where if you tap a phone number, it dials the wrong number. And I've updated to 15.6 and I haven't dared to try that recently. Has anybody tried it to see if they fixed that glitch?
Anybody?
Gary.
Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I've gone in through recent calls and been able to call number that have called me back by just double tapping on the name or number.
Okay, maybe they fixed it.
I know there were issues with that before, and I actually had a couple myself, but a lot of people seem to have a lot of issues. But I used that the other day to call a friend of mine back, and I just went to recents and double tapped on his name and called him. I didn't flip up to more. I didn't flip up to more info or anything like that. I just double tapped on his name.
This is Sri.
Yeah, Sri, go ahead.
I still have the same problem.
Oh, okay.
It's a hit or miss.
Maybe they'll fix it in 16.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can get another question.
Mark in Montreal.
Mark, go ahead.
Question from anybody out there of it. When you receive a call or make a call, I know it could be a Rogers problem up here. I don't know. If the person answers right after the first ring or in the midst of the first ring, oftentimes it stops ringing, but you don't hear each other at all. And I've been finding lately that you have to wait maybe for your ringtone to be halfway through or maybe a third of the way through before you answer the call and you're both speaking with each other. And it's just been something that I've noticed consistently in 15.6. I don't know if it's a Rogers issue, our carrier, or if there is a standard procedure that you should not answer a call, give it maybe 10 or 15 seconds before you answer. Has anybody else had this issue about answering a call too quickly and not really being connected? And then one person hangs up eventually and you get the beep, 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 but up to that point, you're not hearing each other. I'm done speaking.
Has anybody encountered that?
This is Terry.
Terry, go ahead.
I don't know if this is a direct answer to your question, but since I think at least 15.6 and maybe even 15.5, there have been a number of times when I will attempt to call somebody on my phone and the call either doesn't go through at all or it goes through and rings maybe once or twice and then the call disconnects. And I've heard that from other people and I understand that it's a bug. So I don't know if that's related to your question or not.
This is Mark in Montreal.
Go ahead, Mark.
That has not happened to me except when Rogers went down for about 22 hours and we had the national breakdown with the Rogers system. And once it came back up, that wasn't an issue after about the first day. My issue is with actually getting the call answered too quickly and you're on the call and you're going, hello, hello. And they're going, probably doing the same thing at the other end. And then after about 10 seconds, one of you hangs up and you get the beep, beep, beep. And then I've found it's consistent that you have to basically wait 15 seconds, I would say, to be safe before you answer the call. And that's just plain weird. And then you're connected fine. But this has been happening, I would say, since 15.6, could be 15.5, but definitely 15.6. And I was just wondering if anybody has had answered a call and had that happen, if they answer too quickly.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, thanks. Has anybody else had that experience? Okay, so it could be Rogers, could be 15.6. All right, any other comments on that? Let's go ahead and get another question then. Anybody? Gary, go ahead.
I'm thinking about turning on Wi-Fi calling, and I was just curious about the advantages and or disadvantages of doing that, and also a follow-up if I go somewhere and I'm hooked up with someone's Wi-Fi, does that also activate my Wi-Fi calling?
Good question.
This is Brad.
Go ahead, Brad.
I have Wi-Fi calling enabled. I mean, I get a good cell signal here at the house, but it's really advantageous if you live someplace where you don't get a good cell signal, or if there's something about the house, for example, maybe you have a radiant barrier in your attic that causes you to have a problem receiving cellular signal in the house. A Wi-Fi calling can fix that because your phone will connect to its cellular network through a Wi-Fi network.
I don't have any problem with it with cell
Yeah, me
reception
either.
here. So
Disadvantage is if you're talking on the phone and you're connected on Wi-Fi calling and your home internet hiccups, you may lose the call.
oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But that has happened to me like once ever. I have never noticed if it connects to other Wi-Fis when I'm not at home. I know it does not, do when I'm in a hotel, because that requires, whatever they call it, web authentication. It doesn't seem to do that. But
Yeah.
I really haven't noticed any adverse from using it
Yeah,
other than the internet hiccuping one time.
Yeah, I have a friend who, when I visit them, I can get on their Wi-Fi, and when the vice versa. So I'm assuming, that it would just kick in also, since I can get on it.
Let me ask a related question on that. My understanding is that if you've logged in to somebody else's network, then it will automatically make the Wi-Fi calling available. Is that accurate?
This is Brad.
Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
I don't know for sure because I've never paid that much attention, but one way I can tell, or you should be able to tell, when I'm at home and I'm on my lock screen with VoiceOver on my iPhone 12 Pro, if I put my finger up in the upper right corner of the screen where it usually would say T-Mobile, it says T-Mobile Wi-Fi, telling me that I'm on a T-Mobile Wi-Fi network.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But you only get that when you're on your lock screen. You don't get it once you've unlocked the phone. So next time you're at your friend's house and you have, already logged on to their Wi-Fi network, which is like logging on to your home Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
Same thing. You can put your finger up in that upper corner and see what it says.
Yeah, I will. I haven't decided whether I'm going to enable it, because my signal here is fine. So I mean, really why bother with it?
Yeah, Pete, go ahead.
Did you call on me, Greg?
Yeah, go ahead, Pete.
It used to be something that was pointed out when you actually signed up and activated Wi-Fi calling, is that it would not register properly with your emergency services. like when you
Yeah, I
call
did see that.
911.
I did see that when I was looking at it.
So I think there's some resolution or some workaround that's implemented now that might give them a point to key on for your location other than your cellular network location. But I don't really know enough about that.
This is Earl.
Yeah, Earl, go ahead.
A couple of quick comments about the Wi-Fi calling. I keep it turned on just in case I'm ever in an area that has a bad signal, but yet I can still use Wi-Fi. It'll improve the quality of the call. And secondly, at least with my carrier, as far as the emergency services is concerned, when I first turned Wi-Fi calling on, I had to enter an address for the emergency services to use. So I just entered my home address. And the last comment I want to make about Wi-Fi calling is, I think it was Brad that said, when you're on your lock screen, it'll show you if Wi-Fi calling is turned on. That's true. But you can also, if you go into your control center, by touching the status bar and then doing a 3-finger swipe up, or, touching the top of the screen and doing a 1-finger swipe down, depending on your phone. Once you're in your control center, if you look at your status bar while in the control center, it'll also show you if Wi-Fi calling is turned on. It'll say, like for me, it'll say Rogers Wi-Fi. It won't say that in the regular status bar, but if you are in the control center and you look at your status bar, it will tell you.
Is the call quality better, or is it about the same?
In my experience, it's about the same.
Okay.
I just keep it on in case I'm ever in an area with low signal and there's Wi-Fi available. Then I know that's another option.
Appreciate that.
This is Jody.
Yeah, Jody, go ahead.
Yeah, the only downside is that when you enter your address for the emergency services and you're not at home and you're using somebody else's Wi-Fi, it's going to still show you at your original address.
Going to the wrong place.
Yeah, and then the other thing you might want to try to see how you like it is just use FaceTime audio, and that will also give you a Wi-Fi call. I know people that do that too.
So. Okay. Why don't we, let's go ahead and move on to another question. Have we got another question?
This is Sri.
Yeah, Sri, go ahead.
I'm sorry, can I go back to that previous conversation? Because I have Verizon, and on my home screen, I don't see the Wi-Fi calling. So is there a settings that I would have to enable to get it?
This is Earl.
Earl, go ahead.
If your Wi-Fi calling isn't currently turned on, if you go under settings and you go to phone, there's a section in there where you can turn Wi-Fi calling on and off if your carrier offers it and if you have that as part of your plan.
This is Sri.
Yeah, go ahead, Sri.
No, I have it turned on. I'm just wondering, is there something that I have to do on the phone to see it on the lock screen? Because I don't see that I have Wi-Fi calling turned on, even though it's on.
This is Earl again.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Earl.
There was nothing extra that I had to turn on. It just automatically shows on my lock screen, or like I said, if I'm in the control center and I look at the status bar, it'll show me that it's turned on. So there was nothing I had to do to get it to show.
This is Sri.
Yeah, go ahead,
are you on Verizon?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm in Canada. I'm on Rogers. So I don't know if it's different for Verizon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Sri.
No, this is Sri. That's what I was asking, because I'm just trying to see if anyone else who has Verizon, they see it in their lock screen, because I don't see it.
Anybody with Verizon using Wi-Fi calling? Okay, I think you're just gonna have to play with that, Sri.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. All right, another question? Okay, I have another question. So sometimes when I go into Safari, I hear ticking. It'll go tick, 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 tick. And I'm wondering if the phone's going to explode or what's causing that ticking. Has anybody else said that?
This is Mark from Montreal.
Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
That's just your page loading. That's all that is. It'll
Okay.
stop once it's loaded.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Parmy.
Yeah, Parmy, go ahead.
Yeah, mine does that as well, but my page is already there. And it still just be clicking.
Mark,
Brad.
talk to us.
Well, that's never happened to me except when it hasn't found an address properly and it's looking for it. Or there's something wonky about the page in particular. It will do it because it doesn't think that the page is loaded properly. But
This is Pete.
in most 90% of the time, it's I would say 98% of the time it stops. I'm
Okay.
done.
All right. Thanks. Pete, go ahead.
I just wanted to chime in that I still get it, and I think it's something new. It used to stop when the page loaded completely, but now it just continues to tick even after you've got a fully loaded page and you're in it reading articles or whatever. So it's something new. I think with 15 or 15 something.
So you're thinking that's just a software thing that probably
Yeah,
eventually
and
they'll fix. Yep.
it's
All right.
annoying as you can possibly get.
All right.
This is Darcy.
Darcy, go ahead.
Sometimes when that happens and it looks like the page is all loaded, sometimes there's one element that's still loading. A lot of times it's something really annoying like an ad. Sometimes an ad might still be loading and like the rest of the page content is still there. It's just there's something else that, because a lot of times a page, isn't just one file. It's a whole bunch of different things because there could be various, ad networks and tracking things and whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff that loads. So it's possible that it's just some other like small element of the page that's still loading.
You think it'd
This
make
is
a
Earl.
difference if you hit refresh?
It might. Sometimes it does. Sometimes if you switch away from Safari and switch back, it stops. Even sometimes if you cycle VoiceOver, it stops. It's just I have actually found that since I started using like the ad blockers and stuff, that happens less. But it might. It's worth a try.
Okay. Have it, Earl, go ahead.
I just wanted to add on to what Darcy was saying about content still loading, even though it shows on the screen that it's there. Sometimes there's dynamic content that's still loading, like Darcy was saying with ads, but sometimes the ads are constantly changing. So therefore, you're going to get that loading sound because the ads are still on the screen and they're still changing. Your content is there, but because the ads are constantly changing, it's still going to keep ticking. And like Darcy says, if you were to use an ad blocker, it will cut down on that significantly.
This is true.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I go to iBUG today and I get it. And there's really no ads in iBUG today's webpage. I think there's something going on with that's not, I mean, part of what everyone is saying, I agree, but I think there's also something else going on.
This is
Okay.
Terry.
Terry, go ahead.
I've had this ticking sound for as long as I can remember when I've gone into Safari to download something or and I just think that it's the page loading. And there are times when my internet connection is slow that the ticking will continue even though VoiceOver might be reading me a page, but it's just taking a long time to finish downloading the entire website page. And but for me, it hasn't been anything new. It's been a part of the process for a long time, for several years.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
Jody.
Hang on, guys.
Yeah, Jody, and go ahead, Jody.
Okay. I wonder if you pick, if you're using Google, I wonder if you pick a different browser, if that might make a difference in Safari.
That could. Who else was that said something there?
Gary.
Yeah, Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I've had that kicking for years also. And I'd love to be able to have the option to turn that off. that'd be really good. But it just seems to always be there whenever I go into Safari. So,
Right. Yeah, I'm curious now to try a different browser and see if that would make a difference.
This is
Earl.
Okay, this is Sandhya. We're at the midpoint.
Okay, so we have to stop.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right. We will continue right when we get back. So thank you, Greg. We are going to go around and just, if you haven't had a chance to say hello before, please say who you are and where you're from.
Nikki, San Francisco.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
Terry
Harmony.
Okay, Terry, welcome. And who else?
Harmy.
Harmy, hey, welcome.
Three from Virginia.
Shri, welcome.
Kathy from Tulsa.
Hey, Kathy, welcome.
This is Joe from Norman.
Joe, welcome.
Nate from Maryland.
Hey, Nate, welcome back.
Thank you.
Marcia from Daytona Beach.
Hey, Marcia, welcome.
Paul from Oklahoma.
Paul, welcome. Anybody else?
Brooks in Oklahoma.
Hey, Brooks, welcome. Got our Oklahoma contingency here tonight, huh? Okay, anybody else?
Arlene, North Carolina.
Hello, Miss Arlene, welcome.
Hello.
Anybody else want to say hi? All right, well, thank you guys. Sigh. And thank you for joining us. And now it's time for the big reveal. Figure out what on earth we're going to be watching on Friday night at the iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies, which will be on Friday. And it'll be at 7:30 is the social time, and movie silliness, all kinds of silliness on that call. And then movies at 8 Central. Then we have discussion and trivia afterwards. So with those unfathomable clues, we have someone. I'm not sure who it is, but we will find out. Someone, are you out there?
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
I'm back again.
Oh,
I haven't hit the road yet.
Okay. Well, don't do it on a Monday. Okay, keep going.
All right. We are ready for, you know what? Something's been bothering me.
Oh,
I hear some people saying, I'll be back in a jiffy. And I don't know what the heck is a jiffy. I assume they mean a short amount of time. So, I had to actually go and investigate this. And jiffy is actually based on science. Who would know? Physicists have shown that, they've actually defined the term jiffy to be 1/millionth. No, the distance that the speed of, or that light can travel in 1/millionth of 1/millionth of a millimeter. Let that sink in for a moment. Light travels at 186,000 miles per hour. So a millimeter, which is about the thickness of one of those flat toothpicks. So
Per
a
second.
millionth of a millionth of a million. Okay, I heard like that must be Chris correcting me.
Sorry, yes.
Very good, very good. Okay, so anyway, jiffy is a very infinitesimally small
Can you speak?
amount of time. So please don't use jiffy unless you can get it down to a millionth of a millionth of a millisecond, which light can travel over. Okay, what are we here for? Oh, it's now time for Michael.
Oh, there goes my phone again. I thought I had it fixed, but I guess not.
Okay.
All right.
Does he ever listen to himself?
Keep going. Okay, what do we got?
We got clues. We're going to have some clues, right? For the movie, the big reveal, the movie this week. You already told them when the movie is and all that good stuff, right?
I did all that good stuff.
All right. And we were very fortunate again this week. We had another special guest provide us our clues. Adam Neumann is providing our clues this week. So thank you, Adam. Glad he's now a friend of iBUG today. All right. Rules. We have rules for the guessing the clues. First.
What?
One.
What are the rules?
One. Count them. One clue. No, one guess per clue.
Okay, go on.
One guess per clue.
Yeah, we got it. Go on.
One guess per clue. Okay, that's it. And recognize before answering with a guess of the title. We only want titles. We don't want to whole explanations and storylines and all of that, Kathy. Okay, here we go.
Glad we didn't throw her under the bus. Okay.
Clue number one.
Okay.
Our film this week is set in a familiar location in the 1990s.
You're not going to tell us what the familiar location is?
Beantown.
What?
Beantown.
Meantown?
Beantown.
What's that?
Boston.
Boston.
This is Darcy.
Darcy, go for it.
Is it Goodwill Hunting?
Goodwill Hunting. Did you guess that before? Somebody guessed that before.
Nope.
But guess what? No, it's not it. Good try, Darcy.
Go on. Anyway.
Any other guesses on clue number one? Oh, that was your one guess, by the way, Darcy. All right, moving on to clue number two. Most other films by this director, which is the director of the film we're watching, have been about men trying to realize their inner image of themselves. Let me try that again. Most other films by the director have been about trying to realize, about men trying to realize their inner image of themselves.
Oh, that was clear. Very clear. Okay.
This is
Silence. Oh,
Shri.
X-Men.
What? X-Men. Which one?
All of them.
All of them. You have been eliminated. That was 5 guesses. Sorry, Shri. All right. I knew I was going to get somebody on that one of these days.
Okay.
All right. Any other guesses?
This is Janet.
Janet, she knows the director.
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Oh, Janet, that is not even close. Okay, good try. We're moving on. Clue number 3. This film portrays a moral labyrinth in which good and evil wear each other's masks. Ooh, we're getting...
think you better
This is
go.
Pete.
Oh, Pete's got it. I can feel it.
The Matrix.
The Matrix. Oh, he was stuck on that labyrinth. Good try,
Yep.
Pete.
Yep. But
Jody,
Jody, go ahead.
Dead Poet Society.
Dead Poet Society. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. But that's not it either. Good try, Jody.
Okay.
Darcy.
Oh, Darcy's back.
Is it Face Off?
Face Off. Oh, another good movie in which good and evil wear each other's masks. Well, no, it doesn't either. They just wear somebody. Okay. Nope. Sorry, Darcy. Good try. Come again.
Okay, go on.
This is straight.
Oh, no, you've been eliminated. Sorry.
No, I don't think one.
All right. We'll let you get one extra turn. Go.
Is it the Transformers?
The Transformers. He's stuck with that, isn't he? All right. Moving right along. We're not even going to warrant that with a yes or a no.
Okay.
Clue number 4. The lead characters are the radical opposites of their inner realities.
This is straight.
All right, hold off, Street. We're going to let
This is
someone
Dave.
else get. Okay, there goes David. We got a winner.
is it-
I can feel it.
Is it Mystic River? We already watched that.
Mystic River. That would be another great Boston movie, which, yes, we have already watched. All right, Sri, come in.
Brothers?
Brothers. Which ones?
All of them.
Just the first one.
Oh, if you'd have said the blues, we would have been right up the money.
God.
All right.
Next.
Good try, Sri. No, that's in New York, actually.
Today.
All right. Any other guesses on clue number 4, where the lead characters are the radical opposites of their inner realities? All right. 5th and final clue. Both. That means both of the lead characters come to identify with and desire the approval of the men they are deceiving.
This is straight.
Wait, I don't even understand that clue.
I think this was to get easier as you progress.
Shri.
Is it Black Swan?
Black Swan. You have now been eliminated officially. All right.
Sri, you're pushing
Thank
it.
you.
Both come to identify with and desire the approval of the men they are deceiving.
Oh, okay. Do you have another clue? This isn't going to work.
This is D.
Oh, D.
Oh, D's got it.
Deliverance.
Now that's what
It's
we're doing
Georgia.
right now.
Yeah.
All right. Our movie
You're not
is.
going to give him an easier clue? I know they'll get it.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like-
The director is, of course, Martin Scorsese.
This is David.
Ooh.
Ooh, David's
David's
got it.
It's The Departed.
The Departed. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, yes, yes. Way to go, David. The
Way to go,
Departed.
David.
Winner of 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, and Best something else can't remember. But anyway, we have
clues to get
been
there.
there. When did this come out? 1994, winner in 1994. Way to go, David. Okay, I guess
Departed,
that's it for me.
Deliverance, it all sounds about D to me.
Okay, Johnny, what do we have for our winner tonight?
Yeah, Johnny.
All right. Well, the first prize, you have multiple prizes. The first one is a microprocessor shown in the movie. And it is really an ST microelectronic ST9P150JD5V1QC. Whatever that is, it is a microcontroller that was released in 2003. So it'll basically be an antique. And this thing can be used to control MP3 players, GPS devices, and car radios. I
What
think
does that have to
so.
do with the movie?
There are, well, come and find out on Friday. And
The
also,
movie was
also
94.
The movie
This
came in
is
1994.
2003.
How did the ship come out?
Yeah, that's just well after the movie is why I asked my question.
yeah, that's
Scorsese is
interesting,
psychic.
isn't it?
Yeah, no
It was
kidding.
Yeah.
This is
well,
David.
it went around for $7 at the time that the movie was released. Okay.
But you said
This is
that.
David.
Yes,
you
David.
said-
Go,
The movie
David.
came out in 2006, so
Yeah,
that
there
was
you
a little
go.
inaccurate
That's what
information.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, well, that threw us off on the
Then
cruise.
I
then.
think this game is over. This is
All
Yeah,
game
this game is this game is.
I don't think it ever got.
Rigged.
null and
Rigged.
void.
Okay.
Wait. Correction. We said the movie was set in the 1990s.
Yeah,
He also
didn't say
said
it
it
was
won the
released.
1994 Academy Award.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I say that? Go back and
That
play.
was-
Let's go back
that was
and
after
Yeah,
the
let's rewind
clues
the
were done.
tape. Let's
Okay,
hear
we're
that.
moving on. Okay.
rewind.
But David got it. Very good. So you're going to have a microprocessor and a Boston Red Sox hat.
Is it a virtual microprocessor?
No, it's a real one for $7.
This is Terry.
Yes, go ahead, and then we're
Thank-
moving on. Go.
Thank goodness we have this. This is being recorded so that we can go back and prove that he really said that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, an Academy Award in 1994.
It was retroactively awarded. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. McCulloch. Good.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no
Exactly. Don't come back no more.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more.
Very good.
What you say? Sing it, Ray.
Ah,
We're gonna watch Ray this week.
all right.
This-
Okay, thank goodness for the mute button. Very good. Thank you, Mr. McCulloch, for Michael's movie and Nusha. Now we are going to have our iBug Bite segment with Greg, and then we will be addressing all of your questions that nobody let you ask in the first half. So get ready. Get your fingers on your unmute button in just a moment. Not yet. Okay, Greg, are you there? Greg?
All right.
There you are. Okay.
So for the iBug Bite tonight, I thought I would take you into settings and look at the iPhone storage settings. So let me open settings. Open settings.
Settings.
All right. So I want to go down to general, which is 10 or 11 lines down. So I'm just going to touch at the bottom of my screen and see how close I get.
General button.
Wow, this guy is good. Okay, so we're going to open general.
About button.
Okay, now I want to go down to iPhone storage, which is about half a dozen swipes down. So let me do that.
Soft AirDrop. AirPlay. Picture. Card. iPhone storage button.
All right, iPhone storage. I'm going to double tap on that.
iPhone. iPhone 71.3 gigabytes of 128 gigabyte use. iPhone 71.3 gigabytes of 128 gigabyte use. Apps 26%. Media 14%. iOS 7%.
Okay, so it told me how much. I've got 128 gigs. I'm using a little over 70, and it tells me the percent that's in apps and app data files. And then it told me how much I have in media, which the media would be music, videos, phone ringtones. And then it told me how much I have in the operating software. All right, so let's keep flicking to the right.
Recommendations.
All right, recommendations.
Offload unused apps. Off button.
Okay, so offload unused apps. I can have that toggled on or off. if I have it toggled on,
Save 6.05 gigabytes. Automatically offload unused apps when you're low on storage. Your documents and data will be saved.
okay, so I could, if my storage was getting low, I could have that offload apps turned on and it would save me six gigs. All right, let's keep flicking.
Music, 18.51 gig.
Okay, so now starting at that point, it's going to have just in the order of how much space is being used by each of the apps. It'll tell you the like music, and it tells me I've got 18 gigs in music.
Bard Mobile, 12.33 gigabytes. Last used today button.
So it tells me how much I've got like for Bard Mobile and when it was last used. Let me go down a couple more here.
Overcast, 2.27 gigabytes. Last used today.
Okay, so Overcast. Let's double tap on one of these.
Overcast, 2022.7. Overcast Radio, LLC.
Okay, so it tells me the version number, and it tells me the developer.
App size, 5.7 megabytes.
Flicking to the right, it tells me the size of the app, how much space it's taking up.
Documents and data, 2.26 gigabytes.
Okay, and it tells me how much I'm taking up in data and documents related to that app. All right, so one other thing, let me scrub out of that.
Overcast, 2.20. Vertical scroll bar, 11 pages, 0%.
Okay, I'm
adjustable.
gonna flick down on the vertical scroll bar to get down to the bottom.
10, 9, 12, 40, 56, 7, 80, 94, 98%, 100%.
Okay, now I want to flick back to the left.
System data, 9.1, iOS, 9.32 gigabytes, button.
Okay, so flicking to the left twice, it's telling me how much is being used by the software. So I've got a little over 9 gigs that's being used by the iOS itself. And then flicking to the right to the very bottom.
System data, 9.1 gigabytes, button.
So system data, I've got 9.1 gigs. So I've got about 18 gigs that's tied up with the operating system and with system files, logs and things like that. And I could go into any of these and in the apps per se, individually, I can offload individual apps if I want to, or I could flick to delete the app. If you offload the app, it will remove the app in terms of the storage it's taking. The app will still be, the icon will still be on your screen. If you were to go to it, it's not taking up storage, but if you go to it and double tap on it, then it will re-download the app, and any files and data you have associated with it would automatically connect. So that's it for iCloud or iPhone storage. Sandhya, do you want to take any questions?
Yes, hold on. Yes, sir. All right, peeps. If anybody has a question for Greg, please say your name. Let's go. Anybody?
Paul.
Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
I actually just have a comment. That offloading apps is a little dangerous because I had an app one time that by the time I got around to wanting to load it back in, it was no longer in the app store and I couldn't get it back. So it's not really offloading it, you're just re-downloading it from the app store. So just if you have something you really care about, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Right. And if the app goes out of, if it's no longer available, then yeah, you're just out of luck.
This is Marty.
Yep. Go ahead, Marty.
So, does it list the apps by when they were used? Is that the order that it lists them?
Storage. How much storage they're taking?
Yeah, no, but the order that it lists them.
It's in the amount of storage. So the one that's using the most storage would be on top, and then it just goes down to the least storage that's being used.
Oh, okay. I thought it was when they were last used, like by date. Oh, it's by the amount of storage. Okay.
Correct.
Thanks.
Anybody else? All right. Over to you,
This
Sandhya.
is,
Oh, Terry Ann.
oh, sorry. I find that when I need to delete an app, I often find that it's easier to do it in storage, especially if it's an app that I'm going to update, rather than going into the app store and trying to go through all of that. Maybe I just don't know how to do it right in the app store, but I find I have to jump through too many hoops there. So it's a lot easier to do it just from storage and then go to the app store and re-download it. And then you get the latest version of it. Because I don't update. Well, yeah, I do update my apps automatically, but sometimes they don't automatically update. And I need to make sure that I have the most recent one. So that's why I do it.
Right. All right. Anybody else? All right. Sandhya, take it away.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, very good. Very good. All right. So I know there were a few people that had questions right at the end or are going to make a comment. Anybody want to follow? I mean, if they still have their comment. Otherwise, we will start from new.
This is Marie.
Go ahead, Marie.
I was away from my phone. I have a little consolation prize for Sri because of all of these guesses in the great reveal. I am using Verizon. I use Wi-Fi calling, and the far left corner of my status bar, it says VCW Wi-Fi right before the cellular signal.
All right.
So it does show up in the status bar.
This is Sri.
Yes, go ahead.
One comment. No, I was asking if it's in the lock screen.
I think it was on the lock screen.
Okay.
That I saw it. I'll double check that, but I think it was on the lock screen.
Thank you.
But it's in the status bar.
Thank you.
All right.
This is Sri.
Yes.
I just want to make one comment about what Greg was talking about, the ticking. We talked about, that it's potentially uploading. But my question is, if we toggle out of it and come back in, the ticking stops. If we're still uploading, I'd expect to hear the ticking continue because it's still loading.
Okay, we're back to the ticking, the ticking in Greg's phone. Yes, okay. Okay.
So,
yes.
I mean, that was my question. If we toggle out of it, it stops, and you go back in, I would expect it to still continue to be loading. If it was, that would be the cause of the ticking sound.
Right. I don't know. I've experienced the same thing, and it's very annoying. So I guess we'll have to go and do a little experimenting, I guess, to figure out when it ticks and when it doesn't.
This is Darcy.
Darcy.
Yeah, so the reason that might happen is if you switched away from Safari, then Safari stops running. And so when you switch back, then that page might not be loading anymore. Like if it's still downloading something, or if it's like for like dynamic stuff and you switch away and then you switch back, it's possible that page might not be loading anymore.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Thank you. All right. Who's next? Who's got a new question? Somebody new that has not had a turn. We would love to hear from you. This is your turn. Just say your name and then we can try to help.
Chico.
Yes, go ahead, Chico.
I may be silly asking this question, but I think I know the answer. But what's a Safari, and is Safari more accessible than Chrome? Because I have both browsers, and I want to know which browser is like the best browser. Is it Safari or Chrome?
All right, that's a great question. There are no silly questions. All right. Who would like to help Chico with that? The question is, which is a better browser, Safari or Chrome? Or is it a personal preference?
This is Brad.
Brad.
I think it's a personal preference. Whichever, you like to Google environment, or do you like to go strictly Apple environment? You know, you use Google, you're backing up your bookmarks, your things like that can be backed up in the Google cloud universe, whatever you want to call it. Whereas with Safari, you can back up your data into iCloud. So, you know, do you want to be in Google? Do you want to be signed in, you know, to Google and have your search history and all that stuff saved? It's a personal preference, whichever one you like. They're both good choices for different reasons.
All right, very good. Thanks for that question. All right, who's next with a new question? Somebody new that hasn't had a turn. Love to hear from you.
This is Dan.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to get some clarification about the MagSafe charger because I'm going to buy one, but I'm kind of confused about it. Apparently, if you have a MagSafe case, you just snap it on. Magnetically, it just snaps onto the case, I believe. I'm not sure. And once you do that, does it automatically start charging? Is that the way it works? Does anybody have one, or what's the story on that?
All right, who can dispel Dan's confusion about MagSafe charger?
This is Sri.
Go, Sri.
Okay. Dan, I have one. And yeah, as soon as you connect to it, it's going to start charging.
Wow.
Okay, this is Dan. Okay, so how do you connect to it if you have a MagSafe case?
So basically it'll be a snap-on, like a magnet snap-on, like if you have a MagSafe, just a wall charger type snap-on. So it'll automatically perfectly fit with it. That's the advantage of having this. And also if you have the battery widget, it will actually tell you what the battery percentage is on the pack.
I know, but I'm talking about the MagSafe charger, not the battery pack.
You're talking about the wall charger?
No.
There's two types.
I'm a little bit confused. Apparently, okay, the MagSafe charger, is that a wall charger, or I thought you just like you said, you just clip it, or you just snap it onto the case.
This is Sri.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's let Sri help you out. Go ahead, Sri.
So there's two types of charging that's available to you. There's a MagSafe wall charger that has a USB cable that's plugged into the wall. That's a MagSafe. And then you also have a wireless battery pack, or that is basically you charge it and then you remove the cable. Then you have a little battery pack, and then that will snap straight into the back of your phone. And that's when I was describing to you that when you snap it to your phone, if you have the widget, it'll tell you what the battery percentage of that battery pack is, and your phone will start automatically charging from it.
Okay, I think this is Dan. I think I'm interested in the MagSafe wall charger. So well, let's see. You have to get the MagSafe case. You have to you have to run a cable from the phone to the charger, and then plug it into the wall. Is that?
This is Darcy.
Go ahead, Darcy.
With the MagSafe charger, you don't necessarily have to have a case. There is a little circle on the back of the phone that you can snap the MagSafe charger to. It's like a little puck that you snap to it. But there are some cases that the MagSafe thing works through. So you detach the case and it will still, the little puck will snap onto the case. But you can snap it onto your case or directly onto your phone, depending on what kind of case you have and whatnot.
All right. Dan, last question. Hopefully that helps, right?
This is Dan. Yes, that I think that clears it up. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
This is Sri.
Sounds so sure. Go ahead, Sri.
Yeah, so Dan, I was going to just say, it's going to automatically perfectly connect to it. So don't worry about how it connects. The magnet itself will automatically direct to a proper connection. That's the advantage of using the MagSafe. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, and Pete?
Yeah, I think you just answered it, Sri. I had one of the early ones, and the magnetic charge, the magnetic field was not strong, and it had difficulty sticking to the phone. And I had a very thin case. Now, it wasn't a MagSafe certified case or anything, but it was like a little silver dollar kind of a thing. Is it still that kind of a form factor?
Ready?
This is Sri.
Sri.
Yes.
And it's got a pretty good connection, a good force.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Thanks.
All right. The force is with Sri. Okay, sorry. Okay, who's got a new question? Somebody new that has not had a turn. Please say your name.
Marie.
Marie.
Just a quick question on that last one. Will it work through one of those little silicone cases?
This is Sri.
Yes.
So I currently have a 12 Pro Max, and I have the Apple MagSafe silicone case, and it works perfectly.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you.
Very good. Who's next? Otherwise, I have a question, of course, but
You haven't asked. Go ahead.
all right, here we go. My question is, well, last week on Clubhouse, some of you were there and we had a great discussion about widgets. And so I got all excited because I never seem to understand them. So I went into battery, I went into my today screen, and then I found the battery widget, and, y'all said, okay, you got to go and move it to the bottom right corner under the power button and whatever. So I did that. I selected it and I moved it, and now it is lost. And I cannot find it. I don't know where it went. So, any ideas?
This is Darcy.
Darcy.
Yeah, you don't go to the today screen. You go to the add widget thing in like the rearrange mode thing, like the jiggle mode thing.
But okay, well, hold on. Okay, I have to go to the battery widget initially, or the battery something in the...
No, you go into the, so you know what I'm talking about, where you go into like the edit mode where you can move all your apps around and stuff.
Yeah.
So you go in there, and then there's an add widget button. And when you do that, then you get a list of all the types of widgets that you can do. Because see, there's the today screen, which is different. It's not the same as like the home screen widgets. And then you find the battery kit, and I think it will ask you like what size of widget you want and all that kind of stuff, and then you can move it on, get it onto your home screen.
Oh my goodness! If you knew, I was so embarrassed. I was like, how did I lose a stupid widget? And I went and tried to look on. I went through all my stupid home screens. It was terrible.
One thing I would suggest though, if you're going to start playing with them, when you go into the edit mode, you can always go to like if you go. They always give you like one extra page, so you have a blank page, and maybe you want to start putting widgets there first, because if depending on where they are and the size of them, they can like displace a bunch of things that are already there, so it can kind of make a mess of your home screen. So just get them, and then kind of figure out which ones you want and which size, and then kind of move them where you want afterwards.
Well, I must have. But yes, go ahead, Tree.
No, go ahead, Fish.
I must have done something, because I did displace them, but I don't even know what it anyway. Okay, go on, Tree.
One of the suggestions I would do or suggest is, if you're not sure what size widget you're going to create, what I first did is the things that the apps that were on my first home screen, I put it all in a folder just so that it wasn't moving over to the second page yet. Now, obviously, if you take a large size, there's a chance that it might get moved over. But that was one of my ways of making sure these things weren't bouncing around.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
I don't know if this would work, but could you ask SIRI to open your widget, and then maybe you could at least determine where it is, by what page it somehow ended up on.
Yeah,
Darcy?
Yes, Darcy, yes.
I don't believe that you can, but can't say that definitively. I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think that the S lady has anything to do with widgets. Although I'd love to be wrong about that because it might be interesting what you could.
This is Pete.
Pete.
Question: why does it matter what size it
Open
is
battery widget.
if you're just reading it with voiceover?
This is Darcy.
Darcy, go.
Okay, so the different size widgets have different characteristics. Like for example, a lot of times the smallest widgets only have information they're displaying, where the larger widgets might have buttons and various controls on them, or they might have more information. Like a weather widget, the smallest size might just show you the current temperature and the weather conditions, whereas if you get the larger widgets, it might show you like the hourly forecast or something like that.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. All right.
This is Marty.
Go ahead, sir.
So the widgets, I thought 4 cells was the standard, or I guess that's just the battery widget. And when you move it, doesn't it automatically place it on the top left of the first page? So in other words, the apps that were up there would be moved down like 4 spaces.
I guess
that's what happened with my battery widget. When I put my battery widget, it took up 4 spaces. So the apps, like I think I had messages, they just moved down 4 spots.
This is Darcy.
Go ahead, Darcy.
Okay, so I think, and I'm going from memory because it's been a while, but I think what you get is, you're right, that the smallest widgets are 4 spaces, so it's like 2 by 2. It's like a 2 by 2 square. And when I say like the size of an app icon, so 2, and then they have the medium-sized widgets, which I think are 4 by 2, and then there's the large widgets, which are like 4 by 4.
So hold on, this is Sandhya. So are you saying that these widgets take up, like, when you say 2 by 2, 2 spaces, like 2 current icons, like what we already have?
This is Shri.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Okay, go Shri.
So you can't use Siri to open the battery widget. I just tried it, and basically the 2 by 2 is 2 rows and 2 columns. That's what it occupies.
Matrix of 2. Okay, all right. Thank y'all. Okay, who's any follow up on this? Okay, we're hearing some breathing. Stop breathing, people. Okay, next question. Yes, sir. Were you the one breathing?
Maybe.
Okay, you gotta stop breathing.
I do that every now and then.
Okay, stop. Okay, bye. Go.
I just have 2 words. AirPods Pro 2.
You are breathing. Okay, what about it? What's your question?
It's actually somebody else, because I could hear it while Michael was talking.
Yeah, it's not him. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who it is. Okay, I took care of it. Okay, go ahead, Mr. McCulloch. Sorry for the wrong accusation. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Take it up with my lawyer.
Go on. What's your question?
Does anybody have any info on them?
Okay, anybody know about AirPods Pro 2?
Rumors.
Go.
Chances are, at this point, if they're going to announce them anytime soon, they'll probably wait until the fall event when they have the phones, because it's so close to that now that they're probably not going to announce anything until, like, they're not going to announce those ahead of that. I wouldn't imagine.
This is Shri.
Audrey?
Do you know if they changed the look of it, or is it just basically looking the same?
They haven't announced anything yet. Like, there's, rumors obviously, but
I mean, the only rumor that I heard was it was going to have a stem. Originally, they said no stem. Now I heard it's going to have a stem.
Okay.
Is Marty?
Marty, go.
So the one has a stem. So, one improvement they could do, I don't know if they're going to do that, is add a volume feature, because a lot of other Bluetooth headsets have a volume feature, and the AirPods, the only way to change the volume is on the device.
Or the watch if you have one of those. Sorry, this is Darcy.
Yes. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts about stems and stemless? Okay, Mr. McCulloch, you've been muted, so that's why we got rid of the problem. Okay.
Oh, that
sorry.
was him.
Okay. All right. All right. Hopefully that helps you out, Mr. McCulloch. Next, who has a new
This is
question?
Brad.
Yes, Brad.
I saw a news item that says, it didn't say when, but all AirPod cases will transition to using USB-C instead of Lightning. I don't know what that means. It means you can buy a new case. More money for Apple.
All right. Thank you, Brad. All right. Anybody else with a new question? Problem? Oh, preferably iPhone related problem.
This is Darcy.
Hello,
Darcy,
this is
you
Nate.
have a problem?
This
Go ahead, Darcy.
is,
Okay, hang on, Nate. 1 second. Go ahead, Darcy.
Well, I don't know if anyone else here uses TikTok or not. And
Oh my goodness. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh. I'm not sure if I should even continue.
Go on.
There's been a weird bug for the longest time. It didn't used to do this, but now if you're scrolling through them, after a certain number of them, usually it's only a small amount, like maybe 10 or something, it just jumps back to the beginning. And I think it's like a voiceover thing. I didn't know if anyone else if anyone else even uses TikTok here, and if they do, if they've figured out a way around that. But it's really kind of frustrating.
All right. Anybody using TikTok?
Me,
Pete.
not using it, but my go-to on that type of thing is your image or text recognition on?
It is not.
All right. Yes. So,
This is Marty.
Marty, go.
I have an old wind-up clock. Would that be like using TikTok?
No.
Pretty
go
much
back
exactly
on
the
mute.
same thing. Yeah.
Bye, Marty. Okay. Okay.
Is yours jump around, Marty?
Yes, I have, so Darcy, follow up on the TikTok because I have tried it and it'd be interesting at some point to talk about your experience with it because I get stuck in like one video because maybe Darcy want to give it's a quick review of what a TikTok is, really like 1 minute, not even 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Well, that's pretty much actually the length of most TikToks. Actually, it's basically just a video site where people upload these short videos that used to only be, I think, 30 seconds to a minute, but now they can be longer. And you basically just scroll, and you see something, you scroll to the next thing. But the thing that makes TikTok really unique, kind of eerily so, is that it's very good at figuring out the kind of stuff you want to watch. Like, it doesn't take long before, I guess, because it sort of figures out, okay, if a person's flipping past this video really quickly, they're not interested in this type of thing. So it's really quick at figuring out the kind of stuff you want to watch. And then it's like any other site where you can follow people, and then you can have it show you like just the people you follow, or it'll put those people in the main feed, and you basically just scroll. And it's a lot of times it's just sort of fun. It's just sort of a neat little diversion because you never know what you're going to get. And but I haven't used it as much lately because, like I said, it sort of drives me crazy that after only a few videos, it flips you right back to the beginning. And so
This is Terry.
Go ahead.
I don't use TikTok, but in the past couple of updates to iOS 15, I've had other things do that, where they jump back to the top of the screen or, to the first item. So I'm wondering if it's still a bug and not just a problem with TikTok.
It is. I know it has something because I can turn voiceover off, and so I know it's something to do with voiceover, and there may be a workaround because, depending on what part of the screen you touch, because there are certain areas, like you can, view comments and you can like stuff or whatever. So if you just want to scroll, you can turn voiceover off, but that's kind of frustrating sometimes. So it is something to do. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with TikTok specifically, or I mean, it's something with voiceover and TikTok together. But I didn't know if anyone, and it's not sounding like there's any TikTok users. So
They're not. They're being real quiet right now.
apparently,
So are you making dancing videos and all that too, Darcy? Is that what you're
I
doing?
am not. I don't think anyone would really want to see that.
And you're not doing any of the TikTok challenges either?
No, I haven't actually posted anything. Now,
Okay.
they do have these videos. I've not done them, but my girlfriend Holly has, where like they have these like duet things where like you can respond to a video and kind of put the two videos together, and people will like sing stuff and they'll like sing duets and stuff. So Holly's done that. But I myself have not created any videos.
Maybe we should talk to Holly. What do you think? Huh?
Well, she's having the same issue, but
Okay.
But yeah,
All
if you guys ever wanted to do more about TikTok, she would be the one to talk to before I.
Yes,
before
I
am.
think we just volunteered her. Okay, thank you, Darcy. All right,
is
I think we
Angelo?
had. Oh yeah, hang on one second. We had Nate before Angelo. Nate. Oh, wait, is this about TikTok or something else?
TikTok.
What? Okay, hey, go ahead, Nate. Go.
Okay, I believe I read a while ago that the European Union is requiring USB-C for all smartphones, so people won't have to switch if they go from Apple to Android. So I think Apple will be changing all the Apple phones here to USB-C in a couple of years.
All right, thank you, Nate, for that.
Oh, wait,
help.
then I have one other quick question.
Okay.
You mentioned, what was that class? That's not classroom. There was a place you went where you learned about your battery thing.
Oh, the
playground.
widget.
No. I don't remember the name. I forgot it. So don't worry about it.
Okay, it'll come to you. Don't call me at 3 a.m. Come tomorrow. Okay, I'll come next week.
No.
Okay.
Very good. Thank
Sorry, Nate. I'm sorry. Okay, go Angelo.
So I'm just wondering, if TikTok is all videos, how do you see them?
It is all videos, but they're not all just visual in nature. The ones you hear about a lot of, like the ones you hear people talk about, are visual, but there's a lot of like comedic things, or people who have like they have things that they talk about, or there's just all kinds of stuff like that. So they are all videos, but they're not all visual in nature, if that makes sense.
Yes, this is Sandhya. My niece gets a lot of recipes. Apparently, recipes are a big deal on there. So,
yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, anybody else with a new question? You
This is Sri.
problem? Sri.
So I wanted to talk about a new app that I downloaded. It's called Track It. And what it does is it tells me all the Bluetooth devices that my iPhone is seeing. And it tells me how far these Bluetooth devices are from my device. It'll tell me distance-wise, as well as if I'm hot or cold towards the unit. And I realized there's a lot of Bluetooth devices that my phone is talking to, or has not established the connection, but sees it, besides the Bluetooth that we see that we connect to on the Bluetooth on settings. And it's a free app. If you don't want the ad, it's $1.99. I'm using it with the ad, and might want to check it out. But you do have to search for it, saying Track It Bluetooth. If you just do Track It, you'll get a lot of other ones too.
All right, you're playing
Darcy.
hot potato. Okay, go ahead, Darcy.
Is Track It all one word, or is it?
I just asked Siri. I said, find Track It Bluetooth, and it found it.
Okay.
All right.
This is Dee.
Go, Dee.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Sri. Okay, I understand you're tracking this Bluetooth, but what is the purpose?
What I was surprised to see is how many different devices my phone is actually seeing in Bluetooth. Because you would think you're just seeing the Bluetooth that you paired your headphones to, but there's lots of other devices that are running Bluetooth that your phone is actually seeing also.
Okay.
Okay, if you're out in, well, this is if you're out in public, is that picking up other people's Bluetooth devices?
It will pick up every Bluetooth that it sees. Like it's picking up my neighbor's Bluetooth.
Okay.
Ooh, now I can spy on my neighbor.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I think.
Remember, you're not connecting to it; you're just seeing it. But
What's the
there's a lot of
purpose?
devices in my house that have Bluetooth that I did not notice the Bluetooth was running till I saw it on my phone.
All right.
This
Thank
is
you.
D.
D.
Okay. So you see these other devices. I just don't understand what the purpose, why you even need that.
That's all. He wants to know what Bluetooth devices are around in his house or outside of his house. That's all.
Oh.
And like, for example, let's say my MacBook Pro, I could go to Find My, I could also go to the Bluetooth and it'll tell me where my MacBook Pro laptop is located, how far it is from my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can.
So it sees everything on your Find My, like it sees my AirPod, it sees my Mac, it sees my phone, it sees my Apple Watch, it sees all those that are currently active Bluetooth turned on, but it sees other Bluetooth devices that you don't see in Find My that you can see in here in this app.
Okay.
This is Darcy.
Darcy.
They're throwing my hands up in the air.
I can see some applications maybe for, like, if you were just concerned just for security reasons or whatever, like maybe things like, I don't know, like your television or your printer. Maybe they are using Bluetooth and you don't realize it, and then maybe you could, if you didn't think you would ever want to use Bluetooth on your television or your printer, you could turn that off. Just things like that. Like I could see some applications there. Plus, it's just kind of cool just to see.
This is Shree.
Go ahead.
One thing I didn't realize was, we have a Samsung TV and it has Bluetooth glasses for 3D. It even picked those up. That I've never used the glasses, but they're connected, so it picked it up to let me know, hey, those things are running. It definitely tells me the printers. It tells me anything that's got Bluetooth that's turned on. Near my proximity, it's telling me.
All right. Here's my quick question. This is totally unrelated to what Shree is talking about. Okay, you go into your voicemail and you're checking your voicemail and there's like however many, you're swiping through, you want to hear the message. So you click on the message and then it starts playing and then la la la, it's a long, boring message. And then I think what happens is it opens a separate, like, kind of half of the screen, like, so your other messages are still in a row above it, but how do you go to the next message? I always get stuck there listening to that message. How do I go back? Like, could I do a scrub quickly? What's the quickest way?
This is Shree.
Go.
Did you swipe right? Because you'll get those menu options like, play, fast forward, delete, and then you swipe right, it'll go to the next voicemail.
No, that's not happening. That's why I'm stuck. I'll have to try, but I always get stuck in the voicemail. It'll say, do you want to call this person? I'm like, no. Do you want to delete it? No.
After delete, it goes to the next voicemail message.
Okay, I'll try. I don't think so.
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
Are you saying that while the message is playing, is there a way to go to the next one? Because
no, just even after you've listened to it and you want to move on.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I'll test it out. Okay. Yes. Pete, go.
I think you need to either delete it or stop playing it on that separate screen, and then go forefinger to the top and go to the previous screen and pick up the list of messages.
That's okay. That's what I think, but we'll go test it out. I will give you an update next week. Okay. We are at the end of our time. Thank you, Greg, for a wonderful evening. I hope you guys enjoyed your evening
Thank
today.
you, Greg.
And so Greg's asleep again. I know. Okay.
Thank you guys.
There. Oh, he woke up. Greg, you're there.
You interrupted my nap.
I know. Tick, 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 tick. Okay. So just quickly reminder, tomorrow's Clubhouse Mac Buzz 5 to 6, Android Insight on Wednesday from 7 to 8:30, Thursdays iBUG Trekkie Talk from 8 to 9:30, Fridays iBUG Night of the Virtual Movies. We're going to be watching Departed, a very family-friendly movie. Not okay. But anyway, lots of great actors, and so come and check it out. It's a long movie, so take your nap definitely ahead of time. Then Saturdays, I'm at Apple Workshop from 2 to 4. We're going to be having some Apple news and then some demos. So please come for all of these, any or all of these events. We hope you all have a great week, and we will see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Be well. Really fast.